all right, you mentioned Jokic. Let's just jump right into the MVP thing. I thought I was going to vote Shai Gilgeous Alexander the entire season. Basically, so Bontemps does the straw polls. The first one I did, I had Jokic, and then ever since then, I've had SGA. And then I actually sat down to do like my unofficial official ballot
Hmm.
yesterday, and I'm like, am I actually going to go Jokic here? So this was so you look at the I was going through the numbers and you're really kind of like digging into the stuff here. I think it's really close, obviously, between Jokic and SGA. I still don't know what I would do if I had an official MVP ballot. I don't know if you settled on how you would go?
Yes.
You are. You know exactly what you're
Like
gonna
I
do.
have been. I don't
You have.
think I've changed all season. Yeah.
Where are you?
With Shay.
You're with Shay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's ultimate. I think that's where I'm going with it. But like,
Yeah.
okay, so to help me talk through this. How do you just there's the whole most valuable player. How do we even define it? How do you see and look at and think about the MVP award every year?
In a very boring this is not how I think about it, but if you want to go by a very boring binary, I do think it should be awarded to the athlete on the best team, right? The best consistent team all season, because we know how difficult that is. That's a very hard thing to do. And the Thunder are going to be what, 70 wins? Like, like
Close to it, yeah.
yeah, or if not close to it. That's very impressive to me. So I think you then have Shay, who's been, the driver of
Hmm.
that. So that's the boring binary. But like in my gut, in my gut, I think a lot of our colleagues and peers, I honestly think the Jokic stuff, not that he's not deserving, and I understand he is having the best season of his career, numerically speaking. But I think there's a real reticence or a fear or something of like, we can't, because basically in all the rhetoric I've seen, it's a lot of people wanting to give it to Shay and then talking themselves out of it,
Hmm.
in the sense of like, he's not ready yet. He's got plenty of these to come, and yeah, like maybe he does, but at some point you have to start. And I think
Hmm.
this is a very, like, this is more than just a foot in the door. Like,
Right.
he kicked down the door, I think, last season, and this season he's taken a giant step through it. So I think there's a point when you have to stop talking yourself out of it, or being like, oh, it's not his time. He's still waiting in the wings. Like, it very much is. And I think you see that consistently night after night with the confidence that he plays with, the dynamism he plays with. He is very much in the Jokic like scheme of things, in that he changes the way basketball is getting played around him. So he is changing, like, tectonically the game as well. And to me, that's more of what I look at, is like, how impactful is this person, and the way that they play basketball,
Hmm.
on a season. And like, will things be the same after this? No. And like, I get it. It's tough between Shea and Jokic, because Jokic is still doing that and is going to hopefully be doing that for a long time. But I think, just in terms of like, someone we've never seen before playing a way that we've never seen before, that's been, to me, Shea, and it's been Shea all season.
Right.
Yeah, and of course I'm biased. I'm very patriotic these days.
Right.
So,
Fair enough.
for political reasons
Yeah.
aside from this, but like, all those things considered, I think, it's just been so, it's a gut pick, which is probably why they don't give me a vote, cuz like, for me it is all gut. It's a gut
Right.
pick, and that never, like, that hasn't changed all season.
So I think I'm actually closer to you than maybe other people, because you're right. There is a pressure. To me, there is a pressure to vote Jokic, and I don't even know if it is necessarily what you're saying in terms of, well, SGA is not ready yet. I see it a lot of, well, you really know ball if you vote Jokic. It's almost like
That'd be your choice. Yeah.
right. It is a
Yeah.
little bit like, if I just pick the guy scoring a lot of points, I'm gonna look like a casual.
Mm.
And I don't think that that's fair to either Jokic or SGA, because Jokic is still putting up insane just box score numbers. You don't need to know the VORPs and the on off stuff and all that just to see that Jokic is putting up has a 30 point, 20 rebound, 20 assist, triple double. Like, you don't have to, like, that all speaks for itself. And
Hmm.
the numbers that SGA is putting up scoring wise are just they're just downright Michael Jordan esque. It's absolutely wild. And so I still don't I'm not ready to completely reveal where I want to go, because I want to do that on a show next week. But um, I I do kind of go back to when I really think about this, and this is where I was last year.
Mm.
Who had the best season? like in my gut, how do I feel about that? Like, who had the best season? And then I'll watch a Nuggets game. I'm like, there's nobody on the planet better than this guy. And then you'll watch a Thunder game, and I'm like, I don't know the last time I saw a scoring season quite like this. Nobody could stop this guy. And so that's why I kind of keep going back and forth. But who had the best season? That's kind of where I keep trying to end up going. And then I strip away all the, well, what's more valuable to your team, and trying to take into account your teammates and how much should you take into account and all this stuff. It's just very confusing and needlessly so. But that's where I'm sort of at right now between Jokic and SGA. I found the other awards actually a little bit easier, except for Defensive Player of the Year, which is a whole other thing that we talked about last week.